Now we're going to do some applications of we have learned so far. So the first thing I'm gonna do is now I'm going to show you how you can use Bootstrap to create your website. So we created before this page, if you remember, okay, and if I make it responsive, you see, make it smaller, I had basically this look and feel. Okay, just put it here. Okay, you see the table is composed of 3 columns that become 3 rows going responsive, you see. Now I'm going to use the Bootstrap template, and to do this, of course, I'm using the Bootstrap CSS file, which is available under license here. Yeah, it's free. You need only to have this license, and you have to respect the terms of use of this. Then you see here you have by default all these elements. Now what we're gonna do here is I'm going to take my container. We have one image, okay, that I put before, and I'm going to my example, and here just below my paragraph in column 1 I'm going to put my image. Okay, so I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna refresh the page, and here we have our image. Okay, and automatically, okay, you see it's resized and it's put, as you can see here, automatically as a 1. Then here I'm going to put the video. Okay, I'm going to see the video, and we have here all these parts of the video. So I'm going to copy this and go to my example, and in column 3 just below the paragraph I'm going to do the following. Okay, and I have my video. I'm gonna refresh my page, and here we are. Okay, automatically, you don't need to do anything, you see, because you're using Bootstrap. Okay, now we want to do the following. I want, for example, this to be centered. Okay, and then I'm going to do the following. I'm going to create an extra file. Here I'm going to use this one, 59, my example, just below the Bootstrap file, just below. Okay, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to select font face. We keep this, keyframes, we can keep all these things. And I'm going to put this at the very beginning, put this, and I'm going to remove this padding margin. I can leave also this. Create CSS file. I define my fonts here, if you remember. Here I just define a body and h1. So I'm going to override this in Bootstrap. I'm going to override this because in my example I put this link just below Bootstrap. So if I'm going to refresh my page, you see that I changed completely the style, but the basic functionality of Bootstrap are left. Okay, now I should go back to my part, and I'm going to see my CSS file here, padding, background size. I want to remove this, okay, and I'm gonna remove this. Padding is 10, margin is 0. We already saw this. Background size, this attachment is, and okay, this font size. I'm not to put the font size of this. This will be automatically. Gonna refresh, and here we are. Okay, we have this. We have also paragraph that we need to. Paragraph should have the same font family. So I override what is in Bootstrap using the style that I didn't put before. So I'm going to take from my previous file the reference to this, also the reference to the fonts googleapis.com font family file, and again here just below the style sheet, and I'm gonna refresh my page. Okay, here for example you may say that when you go to Bootstrap and you see the responsive part, yeah, you may decide that when max width is this, you're gonna copy this style CSS in our style, and here you do the following. You do body, you're going to do the following. The body has the background only if the maximum width is this. So I'm going to refresh my page. Okay, sorry, min width. So here we have our logo, as you can see here, and when the width of the body is lower than 786, okay, the logo will disappear. Or I can work on this, you can see here. The logo can go. I to have the following. I go back, and instead of tangerine, I'm gonna have thread sans one. I'm gonna refresh my page, and here we are. We have our page. Okay. So as you can see here, you just use Bootstrap. You don't need anything. But for example, I want to do something else, like I want this page when the video is centered. Okay, then I want that when the video max width, margin 5 pixels auto, and I will do the following. Is I'm going to include in my example where the video is here, div. I'm gonna cut this, put it here, and class video container. Okay, and then I'm going to video container, and margin is this, text align center, width is 100%. Okay, so video container, video dash container, point here in front. I'm going to refresh my page now, and as you can see here now my video is centered. Okay, so you just create a separate CSS file. You can, or you override the existing settings for objects like body, etc. Or you can override also the settings of other classes, and you include this. Like for example, in the Bootstrap example, we are using here a container and jumbotron. If you go to see what is the container class, okay, you will see that it has the padding margin right. I can also take this to my new style here and change everything and say that this padding right is 50, this is 50. Okay, we can also keep this. So when I'm going to refresh my page, you see the padding changes accordingly. I have more padding than before. You see here, for example, I want my logo, you know, here. You see they have more padding than before. I have 50, not 15, but 50. Okay, and I have more, and then I can decide to have this. Okay, I don't need this. We created our page with our background. We changed the body settings. The container has another padding now, and our objects are also have another style, font family, and the video is displayed here in another way. As you can see here, this column we can also make it smaller if you just work on the media queries. Okay, and here we are. Okay, you can see here the video. You can make it larger if you want. Okay, so we just use Bootstrap, and we just override some parts or even add other properties in a separate CSS files, and we put the CSS file link just below the link of the Bootstrap style sheet. We can include also a link to font families, etc. And we created our amazing responsive page without working too much, because we are just using Bootstrap. It's important for me that you understand the concept of this, the process of how to do this. Of course, rather than going into details on all the parts of a Bootstrap style sheet file, okay, you can do this as an exercise, but you now just know the principles of using a framework or a template to create your web pages, your websites faster than expected. Faster, you are on the market before you finish your work, before then you can think. Without reinventing the wheel, you just use Bootstrap or other frameworks. Bootstrap is great. You can use also for WordPress, another website, and you can do great jobs.